Welcome back, guys. Thanks for tuning in to the latest edition of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, and we're going to jump right into it. And I know some of you guys are wondering why I have the scarf on. I will tell you why a little bit later. It's to mock somebody on our team just a bit, just to poke a little bit of fun. Also, guys, this is a pre-recorded video. I'm recording it actually Sunday, right after the game. Obviously with the holiday and such, I'll be traveling into work on Tuesday. So unfortunately, I'm unable to do the live stream Tuesday evening. I definitely hate that, but it is what it is, guys. Hopefully you will still be able to enjoy this pre-recorded video. All right, so before I get into the reason why I have on this scarf, and I'll show you why, let's talk about some positivity in the game first and foremost. Then we're gonna dive into the negatives. Because there was some negative things, and that's part of the reason why I have on this scarf. Some of y'all may have figured it out already. So let's talk about some positives, and I'm gonna try to do this off the top of the head before I even look down at my notes. Tyson Alualu played very well in place of Cam Hayward, got 2 sacks in the day. I was very encouraged by that. The Steelers defense was able to snuff out the run for the most part. We didn't really give a whole lot up on the run, even though Deshaun Kaiser was able to pass the ball. We'll talk about that here in a bit. But the Steelers did show up the run defense, and like I said, guys like Tyson Alualu played very well. The Steelers also were able to break their own record. The single sack record for the team, over 55 if I'm not mistaken. It was good to see that. And that's the reason why I actually have this shirt on. I don't know if you guys can read that, but right down there it says 2008 Steelers were the champs. That's the last time that they had that type of sack total. They won the Super Bowl. Now, will that happen this year? I don't know. You're going to hear me talk about that a little bit later on as well. All right, here's some more positivity, guys. Stevan Ridley looks pretty good as a backup. He came in, was able to run the ball fairly well. Toussaint did a couple things, but Ridley had the better day. Good to see that, because we're going to need that type of help, that type of participation in the playoffs. Of course, we're going to lean heavy on Le'Veon Bell, but you always want to have somebody else in the background that can come in and spell you a little bit. It's good to see him still able to run the football and things of that nature. Let's talk about something else very, very positive. JuJu Smith-Schuster. JuJu Smith-Schuster is a stud, a pure stud. Like my boy Tony likes to say, a lotto stud. This kid is unbelievable, and I have to be one of the first to say this. I probably already said this on a Terrible Towel Tuesday before. I was one of the main people when we picked him second in this past year's draft. I was like, wait a minute, why are we going wide receiver? What are we going receiver for? Hey, I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say. Maybe could we have gone another DB right in that area? Perhaps. But I have nothing to say, man. I have nothing to say about TJ Watt, nor do I have anything to say about JuJu Smith-Schuster. Both of these guys have turned out to be Steelers that, the Steelers that we wanted to see early rookies. And these guys are putting up some really, really good numbers, man. Obviously, JuJu Smith-Schuster breaks the record, like I said in the title there, for receivers, almost at 1,000 yards. And let's not forget, my man didn't even play one game due to, the perfect hit, etc., and phenomenal. And TJ Watt, man. TJ Watt is doing a lot of good things, man. Watt got a sack in this game. Watt also gave up a slant play, which again, it's your linebacker. What can you expect? You can't always expect your outside linebacker to be solid in coverage, but it's another reason why you see, again, why James Harrison's services probably wasn't as needed in Pittsburgh, because of the coverage and things we try to employ on the defense. But outside of that, I'm not going to put that on TJ Watt. I will talk about that here in a bit. But in all, man, this guy's had a phenomenal season. Field goal block, interceptions, pass breakups, sacks. Because I think he's at 7 sacks right now. So, I thought he might be able to get double-digit sacks for the year. He didn't. It is what it is. Cam Hayward actually took that over, so there you have it. What else was positive in the game? I'm trying to think, guys. Kick return. My goodness. When is the last time we've seen a kick return for a touchdown by the Pittsburgh Steelers? I'll tell you when. 2010. Antonio Brown. We did a little razzle-dazzle, did the reverse, and Antonio Brown returns the kickoff. It has been a very long time since the Pittsburgh Steelers has not only returned a kick for a touchdown, but had some positivity, you know, in yardage with the kick return. We've seen it twice this year. Well, let's just say with two different people, more than twice. But we've seen Martavis Bryant have a 38-yard return, okay? We saw JuJu earlier have a 27-yard return, which is positive. And then today, I'm saying today because, again, guys, I recorded this right after the game. You see JuJu Smith-Schuster return it for a touchdown. This kid does it all, man. This guy, I can't even remember his numbers, man. Maybe I'll pull it up here. Actually, I will do that, guys. I'm going to pull up the stats here in the video because I want to be correct and letting you know the type of day that JuJu had in case you guys didn't see it. But what a phenomenal player, man. I mean, this kid, I have nothing bad to say about JuJu Smith-Schuster at all. So let me get the stats for you guys real quick and then we can move on because we got to talk about some negativity. We definitely got to talk about some negativity that happened in this game. And at first, you know, like I normally do, guys, I did take an account of all of the drives. But honestly, I'm not going to go into that, you know, because it was backups on offense. So I'm not really going to go into drive for drive like I normally do. I'm going to just talk about the key things to pay attention to. All right, so let's take a look and see what JuJu did real quick, guys. Give me a hot second. All right, JuJu Smith-Schuster, guys, receiving 9 catches, 143 yards. Okay, Stephen Ridley, 17 carries for 80 yards and a touchdown. Here's another positive. Darius Haywood-Bay scores on an end around on the first drive, which I think that drive was very positive for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we go up 7-0. That's the second time he's done that in his career. He did it again against Miami. Well, did it before against Miami last year. So those are some of the good numbers. Even Martavis Bryant, you know, made some key catches, 6 catches for 65 yards. So I like the average there. You know, you didn't really see a whole lot of work out of Jesse James or Vance McDonald. We got to put some of that on Landry Jones, obviously. And I will talk about something, you know, real quick negative in regards to offense. We clearly saw what happened, man, when B.J. Finney went down and we had to put Hubbard at center. I mean, so many over snaps or fumbled snaps or what have you. Some of them were back-to-back in the same drive. Clearly, you see what happens, man, when you have a guy that's not comfortable in a position or haven't played a position that long come in, and that was a disaster. So hopefully nothing like that happens, you know, during the actual playoffs, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, no Marquise Pouncey and no B.J. Finney, and you got to slide Hubbard to center. There you have it. And I hope I hope Finney is not hurt that bad because, you know, he could be another guy that we're going to need to play another position in case there's an injury on the offensive line. All right, so I think that's about it, guys, as far as positive things. Let me see if there was anything else, and then we're going to dive into the negativity, man, which really has me a little upset, a little afraid about our chances about the Super Bowl. I'm going to tell you guys. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, that's it. William Gay gets a nice play, punches the ball out. It was good to see a veteran play like that, to knock that ball out on the Duke Johnson screen for big yardage. He's able to punch it out, and we, recover that fumble, so that was cool. But outside of that, last thing I will say about the offense, Landry Jones showed himself again. He threw an interception in that game to Jabril Peppers. It was great disguised coverage by Peppers, and he jumped in front of it. And there you have it. See, Landry Jones is the type of guy, man, I've noticed since watching him with the Steelers. If his read isn't there, that's typically going to be the end of the show. He typically goes to his read, and if the guy's not there, he doesn't really go through his progressions. That's been the guy that we've known since he's been at the Pittsburgh Steelers. We've seen a couple games where he's gone through his progressions because he can throw the ball. He's not afraid to throw it, but sometimes his decision-making and his hesitance causes things like interceptions, okay? So there you have it. Now let's talk about this defense. Here's the concern, guys. And hold on, let me put this on. Y'all tell me who I'm mocking right here. A lot of real Steeler fans will understand what I'm doing here. And I'm going to do this for the duration of me talking about this secondary. Yeah, I'm talking about the lurk game. So who always talks about the lurk game? Now, let me tell you something. Again, I am not in the business of calling a professional athlete a bum. I'm not going to do that. They made it to the NFL. I did not, all right? But we have got to get better safety play. Let me get this up here so it fits. I mean, I want it to stay here. I see the lighting changing on me, so I apologize for that. But guys, we've got to do something about our safety play. Now, Sean Davis is a second-year player. He's going to have his lumps. You will hope by the third year he'll be okay, and maybe he'll grow into a great player. But Mike Mitchell, man, Mike Mitchell is just not the cover safety, okay? He's just not. There's too many things that he allows to get over the top, and not even just allowing things to get over the top. I need you guys to make the tackle after the catch. That is something that Mike Tomlin always preaches. It's the NFL. You're going to give up big plays. I mean, we get off big plays against opponents. It's going to happen to us as well. It's the NFL. But you have to make the tackle. Tackle the catch. That one play I was talking about with TJ Watt was covering the slant. What happens? Okay? TJ Watt is covering the slant. He gives it up. And Mike Mitchell and Sean Davis is unable to make the tackle. You got Higgins splits the two safeties to score a 56-yard touchdown. Splits them. Sean Davis almost gets him to the ground, but Higgins is able to kind of kick out of that. But neither him or Mike Mitchell, the alert gang, as you can see here, this is who I'm mimicking. This guy is, looks like I need some lotion on the elbows there, y'all. I keep it all the way real. But this guy is unable to make the tackle. Neither one of these guys. What is up with that? Okay? What's up with that? Now listen, like I said, I'm not going to go as far as to call the man a bum or anything like that. Mike Mitchell brings something to our defense. But it's clear, just like my cousin said, man, he texted me. Shout outs to my boy Floyd, more like a brother than a cousin. Floyd said, man, we're going to need to get a safety. we definitely need safety. Actually, I'm going to tell you exactly what he said because I wrote it down. He says here in the draft, we need a safety. And he also said, and I want to point this out as well, he doesn't see how Gay was getting time over Cam Sutton. That has to change. I agree with that. Cam Sutton has been showing a lot of promise. Why isn't he getting some of these reps that William Gay is getting when we go on the dime? Now, I will say this. Maybe it's because William Gay is playing more of the nickel kind of guy in that situation. He's not playing on the outside, so to speak, playing a kind of in the middle of the field. Maybe, Cam Sutton, they like to reserve Cam Sutton for being an outside guy. I don't know, but that's what we've seen him play this year. But I don't know. All right, so enough with the lurk game because now it's making me hot. So, Mike Mitchell, I need you to be the lurk gang guy that you always talk about and lurk the middle of the field. Make some plays. We gave up another big deep shot to Josh Gordon. And, he went out of bounds on the 2-yard line. However, I will say this, because, me, and I text a few people during the game. I usually text my boy Tony. I text my cousin Floyd. And then my father-in-law, Leonard. Now, me and Leonard, a lot of times, we don't always disagree. We don't always agree. We disagree quite often in terms of what's happening on the defense because, again, guys, I really pay attention to everything that's going on the field. I look at all 11 guys. I kind of watch the game like a coach, from playing football and all of that and kind of knowing the Steelers defense and understanding what guys' responsibility are or recognizing the coverage that we're in because, of course, none of us really know who's doing what. But I recognize the coverage and I come to a determination, okay, he should have had this, he should have had that. And it's no fault of his own, but, my father-in-law doesn't always understand that side of it. Because, like most fans, a lot of fans aren't looking at it like that. So what I try to explain to him, sometimes it's not Mike Mitchell's fault. Because on the play to Josh Gordon, he was saying, why couldn't Mitchell get over there? Mitchell was in the middle of the field. That's a lot of ground to cover up. And also, what happened in that situation, it was actually on Joe Hayden. Joe Hayden was peeking in the backfield. They ran a play action fake, with a fake reverse. And you can see Hayden is looking at that, and he hesitated a bit, and then he tried to turn and run. And that's what happened. A lot of times when you see big plays in the NFL, it's a blown coverage somewhere. But I can't put that one on Mike Mitchell. However, I will say we need a better safety in the middle of the field. We just do. No disrespect to Mike Mitchell, but it is what it is. We need more of a rangy safety in the middle of the field. You know, and maybe Sean Davis could be a little better with somebody else that, you know, could cover a little more of their ground as well. You know, we're going to keep our eye on Sean Davis. I don't think Sean Davis is a bum. Yes, Gronkowski got the best of him. I mean, you expect that from Gronkowski. But at the end of the day, I think Sean Davis will be fine. Again, he's a young player. Second-year guy. We'll see what happens. But Mike Mitchell, man, I think it's that time that we start exploring somebody else back there. You know, and at the moment, we don't have anybody else on the roster. I mean, you put Golden back there, you're going to get even worse. And obviously, Wilcox hasn't been the answer. So we just got to ride with what we got. Now, that's the point I wanted to make. I see a lot of Steelers fans, again, and, you know, and bringing up my father-in-law again, complain every week about the secondary, okay? I get it. We're all frustrated. We all hate seeing it. But let me break something down to you guys. It's not going to change immediately. It's not going to change in 1 year. Last year, we had a problem, right? This year, we got better. We still give up plays from time to time. The Steelers secondary is not a shutdown secondary. They're spotty. But we're actually making more plays this year than we did last year. Okay? It's a gradual improvement. You throw Joe Hayden in there, we got a little bit better. Okay? So you would expect going into the next year and the year after that, maybe they can round these guys into shape and finally get, I don't even want to say shutdown, because any defense can be scored on. I mean, I'm watching the Ravens game here before I did this video, and I see Cincinnati, you know, went down very easily and got some points, even though they ran the ball mostly. But what I'm saying is, look at the Ravens defense and how good their secondary is, and we were able to put up 39 points on them. You know, no team is shut down, but you would like to have a secondary that you can feel confident about in key situations. And we don't currently have that. What I'm saying is, our secondary has improved greatly since last year, if you really take a look back at it. But there's still times that we don't close the show against the New England Patriots. I understand the coverages that we were employing and all of that, but at the end of the day, they were able to drive right down the field, throwing it to Gronkowski. They score a touchdown. You look at this game against the Browns, and Deshaun Kaiser nearly throws for 400 yards. I'm going to get his exact numbers. And we're giving up 2 deep shots. And we're giving up a ton of third downs. I mean, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 14, 3rd and 17. It's funny because we seen that happen against Cleveland last year. I'll never forget that. We were watching a game and they did the same thing. Even on 4th down, they were converting against us last year. We got the win, but we got the win ugly. Now, is it because it's a divisional opponent? You got to look at that as well. You can't always look at, oh, this guy's a bum. You know, people saying that about Kaiser. It doesn't mean he can't have a good game. You know, Jacoby Brissett had a great game against us. 2 deep shots. Okay? The kid from Green Bay, Brett Hundley, had a great game against us with some deep shots. Matthew Stafford killed our secondary. And what I just need us to realize, I say us because we're all Steelers fans, it's all Steelers Nation. You guys are going to have to realize that the Steelers are not going to win the Super Bowl because of the defense. Not the secondary. We're not that secondary yet. We will win a Super Bowl if we can. And listen, I don't think we win the Super Bowl this year. I'm going to be very frank. I hope you guys caught what I just said. I don't think we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Can we win it? It's possible. But I'm not confident that we'll win it because I just see that the secondary gives up too much at key times. Now, we're going to have to find a way to make key stops when we can, you know, pressure combination with the secondary, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe we'll be okay because obviously we're getting better because we got a ton of sacks. So maybe it's going to have to be the Pittsburgh, you know, to help out the secondary. I don't know. But I'm not banking on the secondary, and I have known this throughout the year. So I just choose to not blow up every time I see them perform the way they do because we've seen it the whole year. You know, if you're thinking the defense is that much better, you're blind. We're not. We've played better. And yeah, we did, you know, we were doing very well against the pass early on. But let's not forget, guys were running the ball on us. There's a lot of things you got to take in consideration there. But I will say this. Steelers secondary has improved, yes, since last year. It looks like they're on track to continue to improve. But we are an up and down, very spotty secondary right now that can be passed on, that can make bad decisions or peek in the backfield from time to time. We've seen it from Artie Burns, and you saw Joe Hayden do it in this game. And it is what it is. We know what Mike Mitchell is. We know what Sean Davis is. And I'm not going to, hold Sean Davis all the way to that because he's still growing. But we know what Mike Mitchell is for sure. So we just got to take what we got, guys. I mean, we know what we're going in with. And what we have to stop doing, because this is another thing we debate about, you guys have to stop blaming the coaches for the way the defense is performing. When you can clearly see that guys are making bad decisions or they're out of position, that ain't on the coaches. The coaches call the plays. Keith Butler was going through the Rolodex in that game. I even seen him send Artie Burns a few times. He was trying all kinds of stuff. Players won't execute all the time. And I don't know why that is. Okay? So we got to hold the defense accountable. Because again, me and my father-in-law, we always get into it. He always wants to say, oh, New England's defense was bad in the first 2 weeks, and then they turned it around. I don't understand. Listen, man. So are we ready to just say that, our coaches or our team they just can't do anything? Steelers defense has played good at times. Like I said, we are a spotty defense. And it's not like New England shutting everybody down either. I mean, we ain't had no problem with them on offense. You understand what I'm saying? So let's stop being so emotional. We all have an emotional connection. But let's just recognize it for what it is. That's just how I choose to do it. For you guys that don't want to do that, I'm not saying my approach is right. I'm just saying when I know the team in and out and I have visual evidence as to what's going on with them, it's really not a whole lot that surprises me now. I know we are a liability in the secondary, unless it's one of those games that we came to play. And speaking of which, Mike Hilton has been our most consistent DB this year. Can we not agree with that? The man almost got an interception in that game. Read the coverage perfectly, and that's a spot that we desperately needed to replace as the slot corner, and I think we found that. Now I think we got to move on to the safety, man, the free safety. Artie Burns, I'm not ready to give up on him yet. Because you've seen Artie make some plays. Artie Burns, to me, I think Artie Burns can be a solid cornerback if he stops peeking. Because he makes some great plays in man coverage. But when he's in zone, he gets a little razzled, So if we can get him to be a more cerebral guy going forward, I think Artie still has a shot. Obviously, Joe Hayden is a very, very solid corner for us right now. We still need to look for his replacement, should we, even if we keep him. We've signed him for 3 years, and I think maybe he's probably played his contract. I think he's worth the money. Maybe we keep him. But you got to look for somebody to, behind him, because, he'll be 31 or so, I guess, by the time his contract is up. I think he's 28 now, 28, 29, something like that. But, you still got to look for somebody else. So, but I think they will stabilize at some point, but it's going to take a little bit of time, man. Finding key players in the league is not easy. You don't find a Richard Sherman every day. You don't find a Patrick Peterson every day. You don't find a Key to leave every day, which has also been giving up some things this year. No defense is perfect, but it takes time to get that core group together. So give it some time, man. But again, I don't think we win the Super Bowl this year. I know my cousin Floyd gonna get on me about that. He always say, yo, be confident. I am confident. I think we can win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I just don't know. The defense, the secondary, I just don't have a good feeling about us getting the key stops. Because again, I put the blame on the offense for the game against New England. If we end that drive with 3 minutes and 56 seconds left, game's over. But the defense also, if you stop New England from scoring, we probably win the game. That was a key possession, and the ball was deflected and hit Sean Davis in the hands. See what I mean? I just don't know. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. Let me see if there's anything else I had, guys, as far as our guys that I wanted to talk about here. I definitely want to see more Cam Sutton, man. Really want to see more of him. And I don't think I have any more points, guys. So let me take a look at the stats. I want to go take a look at Deshaun Kaiser. Kaiser was getting off, man. Well, his completion percentage wasn't that great, but the boy was 16 for 30 for 314 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I was a little off as far as saying almost 400. Not really. But, you know, the Steelers defense is going to give that up. We did get an interception on him. Josh Gordon, 4 for 115. Duke Johnson, 6 for 75, was killing us on screens. And the kid Higgins, 3 for 68, 2 touchdowns. So we just got to find a way to make plays, man. You know, again, we're not the secondary that's going to shut guys out. Maybe we will be that in the playoffs. I don't know. But I don't know. They're scaring me right now. There's really not any team in the AFC that scares me through the air outside of New England. So I think we have a shot. I don't know. I just don't know if we can win it. Because if you think about the teams that we'll have to play in the NFC, you know, these guys have guys who can pitch the ball around. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm just a little nervous, guys. I'm not going to give up on it. I'm just a little nervous. All right, so I think that's going to do it, man. We'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Great season. You know, 13-3. When is the last time we've seen that? Excellent season. You know, Steelers could very easily have been, let's see, it's very possible we could have been 15-1. Even if you accept the Jacksonville loss, which they just beat us. You know, bad game by the Steelers. Steelers could have very well won the Chicago game. Steelers could have and should have, hint, hint, should have won the game against the Patriots. So we could be looking at a 15-1 team right now. Steelers look hot right now. This might be our year. I'm just a little nervous, guys. I don't know with the secondary, okay? So there you have it, man. I'll be back at you guys. Let's think. We're not going to do a pregame because we're not playing. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll do something and talk about the matchups in the playoffs. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that. But if not, you can definitely expect a Terrible Towel Tuesday the following Tuesday. Even though we don't play next week, I'll still do a Terrible Towel Tuesday right there. And I will, of course, in that video talk about, you know, who we're going to be playing and how different teams looked in the playoffs, etc., etc. So worst case scenario, I'll be back on Tuesday. All right. Very small chance that I'll be back on Friday because I really don't have much to talk about on Friday, but for sure the following Tuesday. All right, that's going to do it, man. If you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Cut on your notifications so you're fully aware of a new video. And I promise, guys, it will never hurt you to hit that like button. All right, guys, it's a lot to be proud about. But at the same time, we should be still sitting on eggshells, man, because we just never know. All right, there you have it. Here we go, Steelers. We'll catch you next week. Peace.